Hey,
Hey,
Andy, how you doing today?
How you doing?
Good to see you again, man. How was your weekend?
Oh man, it was good. It's good to reconvene with all my old friends and colleagues and whatnot.
The
How
game
was
was
your weekend?
incredible. The game was incredible. Georgia won.
Yeah.
I believe we're 6-0 now. So
Can't ask for anything more than that.
cannot.
That's right.
So how was the tailgate for you?
Oh man, it was good. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm really glad that Ryan was able to kind of.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, me and Ryan are very close. I'm glad that he was able to introduce me to you as well.
For sure. Well, I know that you're kind of low on time right now.
Yeah.
And I think we'll be here for about 20 minutes. And I heard that you just got promoted as the new IT Associate Director.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you very much.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Well, before we kind of get started a little bit, like I said, I don't want to be too long. I want to be efficient and brief with your time. But here's my card.
Okay. Awesome.
For more information, you can email me, call me whenever you please.
Okay.
Really, whenever you need.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Here you go.
Awesome. Okay.
Yep. You're welcome.
Very cool. Well, once again, thank you for meeting out with me. I really appreciate all that you kind of stuck your head out for me and allowed me to have this meeting with you. I really appreciate
absolutely.
it. So before we kind of get started, I have a little bit of an agenda for you.
Okay.
Kind of just laying out what we're going to be talking about here.
Okay.
So the first few minutes, I just kind of want to go over questions about Yeti and see how we can kind of see what Yeti's kind of about and their growth as a company. And then I want to move in and talk about how Salesforce can be beneficial to you guys and how we can kind of analyze the holes and gaps that you guys and kind of fill all that in and see what we can solve to better help one another.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I just want to thank you again for everything as well. And if you have any more information for me or want to have any questions for me, feel free to butt in. I don't really mind at all. If you don't mind, I would love to take a few notes. I won't write anything off or anything like that. Okay, perfect. Well, I guess the first question I really have for you is basically I've been researching a lot on Yeti. I want to come here prepared and understand exactly what we were talking about really well. But Yeti, I know that it's headquartered in Austin, Texas.
Right.
And that you guys started growth in 2013. Your sales growth went from 100 million to around this time over to 500 million in sales growth.
Yeah.
Can you kind of tell me a little bit more about that, who Yeti is?
Yeah, so like you said, we're located in Austin, Texas. It was started by two brothers. We're relatively small. We're still pretty young. We're only about 10 years old. We started in 2006. Right now we have about 350 employees. Okay. I would say about 100 or roughly 100 of those people are directly involved in sales or like the marketing side of sales. Okay. Other than that, like you said, Austin, Texas. And then, as I was saying, the sales is divided into two categories, the marketing and then the direct sales. Right.
So kind of looking at Yeti and the database that you guys are using, what kind of system are you guys using right now? Really, what does that look like?
Well, we don't have like any computerized system or anything like that. We pretty much, the employees pretty much write up their sales or write up, the clients that they gain. And then that's put into a filing cabinet and then stored away. Okay,
now is there a specific format, I guess, you have for client write-ups for a sales rep?
Not really. I mean, yes, they all have to have certain things like the date and the order number and the amount of the sale, but it's not necessarily laid out in the same format universally.
Do you think that causes any problems for y'all or anything like that? Or?
I would say I definitely think it causes some inefficient problems. Okay. I know that it's a
not as centralized.
It's not very efficient. I would say it's a little bit time consuming because whenever we have to find clients or deal with anything like that, we got to search for it, and you can imagine that is very time consuming to sort through file after files. So yeah, it definitely is time consuming, which is obviously not beneficial.
Right. So now, as for sales reps, are they really given free will wherever they please, or are they kind of divided out per regions? What does that kind of look like? Are they able to kind of go out and do whatever?
Well, that's a good question. They're kind of giving guidelines.
Yeah. How do you manage that?
There's not too much guidance. Like I said, there's guidelines to where they can do their business, but it's not necessarily like you have this circle and you stick to that circle. So it's not everything isn't fair game, but there's not too much restriction. I would say.
So you say there'd be kind of like a quota to fill for each
Oh
region?
yeah, absolutely. I mean, everyone. We definitely.
Is that
definitely
kind of
quotas.
how y'all compare your regions?
Sure. All right.
For sales rep?
We don't compare it really by regions necessarily. I mean, I guess if we wanted to do that, I guess we would have to look at the employees and the areas that they sort of cover. I guess if we had to do it like that, we would have to compare sales numbers by each sales rep.
Okay. Now, your measurement between each comparison of your sales representatives, do you feel like that could be an issue at all?
You know what? It's funny that you say that because it definitely is. Because as you can imagine, certain areas are better than other areas,
Right.
And so it's kind of hard to compare an area that has a ton of growth versus an area that's like just starting out. And so, like, if we give one area to a new sales rep that's booming, and we give an area to a sales rep that
Not so much.
that's not so much, it's very hard to it's hard to compare those two because, like I said, they're both two opposite ends of the spectrum. It's not necessarily fair for either employee to be compared to that level if they're not given those things.
Okay, so one of the last kind of bigger questions that I have for you is, how do you differentiate or manage between, I guess, your direct sales and your retail stores? I know you mentioned a little bit about your marketing team and sales team, but could you kind of give me a little bit more background, I guess, what that looks like?
Well, so our marketing team deals more with the direct sales, as you can imagine. And then our sales reps are the ones who go out to business and conduct business to business type sales, as you can imagine. But yeah, I mean, they definitely have to work together because you can't really. They both kind of go hand in hand with one another. So I would say not much can get done without the other having a little bit of influence, at least.
So I was doing a lot of research last night, and I read out a little bit about some of your former and present employees online, and a lot of them were talking about some miscommunication and how that was a big part of the company. An issue that you guys, it appears to y'all that you've been having. Would you say that it is important for the sales team and the marketing team to be on the same page to communicate better, or how important is that?
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, you can't really, the way the process kind of works, the way I like to look at it is you have your sales reps, you have your sales reps who go out and they sell to business. And sometimes you need information from those sales and you need to see how those sales are doing in order to communicate to the marketing team so that they know some of the products that they need to push and some of the products that they might need to let up on.
Okay.
Because obviously you don't want to be promoting you might not want to over promote the things that are selling well and under promote the things that need growth. So yes, it's very it's really technical, and it's I would say there's definitely a communication gap or there needs to be better communication between the two because they like I said, they go hand in hand.
Okay.
So the better that they can work together, the better performance, the better outcome that the company will have.
All right, Andy. So kind of just hearing what you have to say, look, Yeti is obviously an incredible company.
Right.
I support it a lot. My Yeti cup over here, super big fan. I've actually won a huge Yeti cooler off
Really?
Of
Yeah, they all do that. Those.
Super excited.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like Yeti, I think the products are really helpful for people, specifically when you're going out to the beach and
having a good time.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel kind of the same way about Salesforce. It's a necessity. Yeti's a necessity for people, and just like Salesforce, it's also a necessity for people. In case you don't know, a little bit of background about Salesforce.
Okay.
It's a CRM database, and CRM, if you do not know already, it stands for a customer relationship management. And it tracks and analyzes all the interactions that you have with customers, clients, and other prospects. Is a tool that centralizes and simplifies and kind of scales employee and customer engagements.
Okay.
One thing that's really cool about Salesforce is it's very moldable. It can kind of fit different types of companies, whether you're looking at a mom and pop shop or a bigger shop or a company that's just as big as Yeti. Salesforce can kind of appeal to both sets of companies, which I think is really awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
One thing that we've kind of seen with our company, Salesforce, on average, companies that will use this Salesforce will usually increase by 20% in overall sales growth, which is really impressive.
Wow, okay.
So far. So looking at a few things that we've kind of talked about, I guess, today, I think there are definitely some areas that we could really touch on and how we can better improve your company, and how we could kind of partner in the future.
Okay.
One of the big things I think that we touched on, one of the first few things was the overflowing of files and your file cabinet storage in your database. I think Salesforce could be really helpful for this, as it's really easy to access and it's all up in the cloud. And it'll be easy for all of your employees to use this, and it's all on the same template, same uniform screen, and no one will have any issues. You can teach it really easily. It's really adaptable for a lot of your employees. Like I said, it's really uniform. So for example, each time you're putting in products, you can report all your sales. It all say the same thing, whether it's your sales, how you're sorting it, your location, wherever it is.
Okay, it's like the format.
Right, the formatting is all the same, which is really effective, and it's been proven to be really helpful for a lot of our other companies that we've used. Secondly, we talked a little bit about the regions of your sales reps. It'll be able to do a lot of comparison for you, and it seems like you guys are very time consuming and focusing a lot on your sales representatives, and with Salesforce it'll be a lot more time efficient. You won't have to worry so much about this, and you won't have to put so much time into that. Basically what it'll do, you can look at region X versus region Y, and you can kind of compare the two. You can look at that salesman in that region versus the sales in other regions. And another really cool thing is that it will basically compare, take one region, take the Southwest region, and compare it to the entire sales of the entire United States, which is really incredible, and something that only Salesforce can really offer you. Thirdly, and lastly, sales and marketing is really efficient. It helps you look at all your products, whether it's good or bad. It'll help you a lot in terms of that. And when you said you were struggling a little bit with the sales and marketing teams and the communication gap right there, it'll really help that kind of clear up. And specifically, you'll be able to relay information from your sales team all the way over to your marketing team. So say that your sales team is focusing a lot on one store, and they see that the Yeti 315 is working really well and the cups are working really well in that area. You can relay that over to the marketing team, and they will know how to better appeal to direct consumers in that area. So it's super, super helpful. And again, it uses the same template, so you can kind of transfer and transport your data really well.
Okay, gotcha. Very cool.
So I know that Andy's saying one thing, showing you it would be a lot better and a lot helpful. So would you mind if I came over and kind of showed you exactly what Salesforce would be?
No, bring it on over. Let me see.
Awesome.
Cool.
All right. So this is Salesforce right here. This is kind of basically our homepage, and I know there's a lot of tabs and a lot of things that can be kind of scary and a little bit confusing, but just bear with me here. It'll be a lot more easier once we kind of explain. So let's take Louisiana. That's a big part of Yeti's sales. What specific store, I guess, or clientele is really helpful or in the Louisiana area?
Well, Dick's Sporting Goods is definitely our biggest client.
So if we typed in Louisiana region, so we got there, and sorted that location's good. Now we put in Dick's Sporting Goods, and then you will be able to see, if you look right here, it'll be able to sort your profit, your revenue, your units sold, your potential products that you will use and be able to sell. And it's really helpful and more time efficient.
So like if I wanted to, if I wanted to search and see how a certain product is doing, like everywhere, is that kind of look that up?
That's definitely available for sure. Like I said, the Yeti 315, it's one of my favorite products. If we typed that in, and we did across the entire United States, you could type in the Yeti 315 right here. All right, now if you click this right there, you'll be able to see all the Yeti 315s. Yeah, you'll be able to see all the sales.
Oh, that's okay.
Exactly, throughout the entire United States, and you can see which areas are working really well and what customers really like it. So you can see in the Southeast region over here on the map. Exactly.
Okay.
So when you see in the Southeast region over here, it's a lot more helpful to be able to see that people are really liking this product. So like I was saying, you can really compare, one salesman to another too.
Yeah, sure.
If we were to have that information, This company, So for this company, you typed in this salesman right here.
Someone.
Exactly.
And then
So you'll be able to kind of decipher one salesman versus another.
Okay, very
so it'll be a lot helpful. All right.
Cool. Well, I like everything. I mean, it all seems like, and I definitely see the need for it.
Okay. What are you thinking here?
I think that obviously it's something I have to talk about with the people above me, but I do need to know some of the dollars and cents.
I understand that technology is super expensive nowadays, and
right.
that's a word that we all have, and I completely understand that. But before we talk about, I guess, price, let's talk a little bit about what you would gain with Salesforce and kind of what your sales growth looks like right now. So you said about 450 million,
right?
That's what we've kind of
talked about
before.
We're doing. That's what we're projected to do this year,
right? And then you also, so what would you say, I guess, out of 20 potentially new clients, how many do you think would not, buy Yeti products?
Let's go with one person. One person.
So that would be about 5%. 5% of your potential sales.
Okay.
Would be,
disregarded. Losing 5%. Exactly. Okay. Sure.
So if you said that you had 450 million.
Okay.
Right? So if we lose about 5% there, you're losing 22. That ends up being $22.5 million right there. Not great. Not great. However, if you were to use Salesforce, you would be a lot more helpful. It would help a lot. Like we talked about before, it's about 20% with your size of company.
Okay.
On average, it would be about 20%.
Okay.
If you were using Salesforce. So if we added that or multiplied that, 450 million times the 20% increase, that would end up being $558 million.
Okay.
With an increase of $108 million. So you'd be going from 450 to 558 with an increase of $108 million.
Okay. Very
now, looking at this 22.5 million that we have right here, this is what would happen if you were not to use Salesforce.
Right. Okay.
However, if you were to use Salesforce, you again gain 108 million and also be saving $22.5 million.
Okay.
Now that's very interesting, right?
Yeah.
Now we're looking at price, correct?
Right. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. So when you're using Salesforce, like I said earlier, it's about $20,000 for your initial fee.
Okay.
So you'll pay that once and you won't have to pay that again.
Okay.
Then you said there were about 100 employees or so?
Yeah. Well, in our sales department, there's about 100 of us.
Okay, 100 employees. Now, for those 100 employees, those representatives, whatever you want to call them, it's about $185 each.
Okay.
So if you multiply $185 times 100, you get $18,500.
Okay, and is that a one-time fee?
No, you'd be paying this per month.
Okay.
Now, if we were to do this for an annual year, with the initial fee, it would be about $242,000.
Okay, so about $250,000.
It's about $250,000.
Okay.
Now, if you're looking at this, what you would gain, you'd be saving again $22.5 million, and also the difference when you're using Salesforce is $108 million. That is a lot bigger portion than your $250,000 that you'd be spending using Salesforce.
Yeah. I mean, you make that pretty clear.
Exactly. So it really is. It's like spending pennies for dollars. It's almost like chump change, really.
Yeah.
Compared to your $250,000 to your $108 million that you'd be really gaining.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I like I said before, I like everything I see. I'm gonna have to talk to a couple more people.
Yeah, please do.
But
do you have any other questions for me or anything like that would be helpful, or?
I guess I don't think I have any more questions. I have your card.
Right.
What I'll do from here, I'm thinking that I'm definitely gonna, I like everything I see.
Okay.
I think the board is gonna like what they see. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna relay all the things you told me today to them. I'm gonna get what they think, and then we can meet back up and hopefully come to a final decision.
Okay. Well, please talk to him as long as you need to relay all the information we talked about here.
Okay.
I think that I've discussed all the benefits really well for Salesforce and how much you'd really be saving and really grow it a lot by our company right now. So if I could,
absolutely.
If we could get you
Yeah,
the contract.
do you have anything that you could maybe leave me that I could show?
Yeah, I have a contract.
Okay,
here
sure.
would
Yeah,
be
that works
helpful.
perfect.
Again, Andy, I appreciate it.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I definitely, like I said, I'll relay that information, and then I like what I see, and I think they are too.
Okay,
they will
perfect.
Too.
So I'm thinking maybe we can meet up once you talk to your executives.
Yeah,
and peers.
I'm thinking
maybe
next
that
week.
week?
Yeah, next week should
Okay,
be fine.
How
Either
does
Thursday or
when-
Friday, but I can contact you,
Okay.
and we can finalize that time.
Friday
But
sounds
definitely,
good.
definitely late next week.
Okay, later
Okay.
next week sounds good. You
Yeah.
let me know and I'll be available.
Okay,
All right,
awesome.
Andy.
Perfect.
I appreciate you,
Yeah,
man.
thank you very
Hey,
much.
Good dogs.